starting.
Yes, sir.
You edit this in?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I want to also give my comments on the political economy of and appraise the budget that was recently presented by Dr. Situmbeko Musokotwane, being the first UPND budget for the fiscal year 2022. And I have 7 things to comment on. Instead of commenting on the specific issues that have gone around in social media and elsewhere, I will give a much more broader picture, namely the political economy of the budget process in our country. And the first item I want to talk about is the projected growth. The UPND Budget, Honorable Minister, informed the nation that he is planning to grow the economy by 3.5% of GDP next year. Now, this is what happened in 2021, where the PF budget grew by 3.3% of the economy. In my view, this is too little. This is totally not what a government should be aiming to do. I think for us, the matter is even worsened by the fact the population growth in our country is more than 3.3%, which means there will be no growth whatsoever. We shall be continue with our recession and no growth in the economy, and we will not be able to tackle the big issues of poverty eradication and data development, which we would like to do as governments. In fact, the general consensus is that the country should aim to grow beyond 8% per annum. That is when a country such as ours would tackle poverty, and eradicate it. And the examples are there. China is there to show. It was growing at more than 10% per annum. And they've been able to take away more than 500 million people from poverty. Yeah, the same thing is happening in Rwanda and other countries have had similar experiences. So our budgets, for as long as we are aiming to grow our economies at rates of 3.5 and below, we will forever be poor. And so, whereas this is realistic, taking our circumstances, having the pandemic and the recession, I would hope that, after this, we should strive to make a plan for 10, 12% of GDP growth annually. That's when we shall resolve the issue of poverty. Secondly, the UPND, the Honorable Minister, indicated that he's aiming to have an inflation of about 6 to 8% next year. This is exactly the same way in which the PF did in 2021. Now, and this is good. I think it's good to aim to ensure that you control money supply. But this, of course, in our case, will depend on how Minister Musokotwane and his colleagues are able to manage money supply. And being a monetarist himself, a follower of Milton Friedman, I am sure he understands that this is a crucial matter. But the things what he has done is to create an area where it appears there will be an expansion of money supply, and therefore inflation may not be really be addressed. The public debt, for instance, is an issue. The Honorable Minister informed the nation that Zambia's external public debt is $14.71 billion, and the government component of that is 4.99 billion, and that the country also has arrears, of more than $1.2 billion, which of principal, and also about more than $600 million of interest arrears. And he also informed the nation furthermore that the internal debt, or that we have is 189.7 billion kwacha, and we also there with the country has arrears of more than 46.9 billion kwacha, which also includes the 600.4 million, interest area, 477.9 million of fuel arrears. Now, these are the issues which he says he will work very hard to try and resolve, because the meaning of that is that our country is insolvent now, and of course, the minister and his colleagues must work very hard to ensure that they move away from that position where this debt which we have has become unsustainable. Now, to resolve these challenges, the Honorable Minister informed the nation that he has been negotiating for an IMF rescue package of about $1.3